have, for the first time in a long time, got Mr. Mercedes up again. He's not behaving terribly well at the moment. It's not helped by the Jenna. The Jenna won't roll right in properly. So I have a suspicion that whatever that widget was, it came from the top of the furler up there somewhere. Which is a real pain because I'll have to have that seen to before we can depart Mauritius. Problems. Come on.
Good morning, guys, from Not So Bad Mechanic in the house. Beautiful day today, and John Mechanic is busy. What are you doing, John?
One of these pesky screws came loose and stopped the mainsail coming out. So I've come up, taken it out, I've Loctited it.
Cannot hear you.
Fixing it.
A nut came out, so he's fixing one of the nuts. It was avoiding the sail from coming down. So, as I told you guys, he's an all-over, all-rounder. Sails, planes, buses, trains. He'll send you his CV, okay? The second leg over. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Good job, Captain.
Yeah, I'm glad that was close to the bottom.
Yeah, what happens if it was further up? I'm not taking you up there again. Okay, that's our mission job for the day, done for the moment.
After struggling a bit with Mr. Mercedes, we brought the mainsail down, which is where we discovered that we had a screw loose in the tank. And since then it's been pretty good. It does collapse a bit, but not in the way that he was collapsing. And he immediately refills. Well, all in all, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. At the end of a pretty stressful day, we've got some issues. There's some issues at the top of the furler. I don't know exactly what it is, but the bits fell off this afternoon. And it won't furl up completely, so that's a big issue if we want to get some serious weather. The good news though is that the forecast is reasonably benign. So hopefully that'll be okay. We're about 9 days away from Mauritius now, making very good progress. Doing 6.5, 7 days away. Which is good.
morning, campers. How are we today? Commodore,
Hello, good morning.
nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
What's happening?
Oh, we're just having a nice relaxing sail, night sail with the moon shining,
Yes,
which is amazing.
it makes such a difference. Let me
Yeah.
show you the difference. For the first time, we have actually been able to see the sea, the horizon, and everything in general. Up until now, outside has just been a black hole, and really quite disorientating. Outside now, the moon is shining, showing us the way. We can see the seas, we can see the horizon, although it's probably not clear to you guys. We can't actually see the horizon all the way around. And it makes such a difference, such a difference. On the inside, we're whizzing along at 7.5 knots or so, out of 11, which is nice. I say 11, it's 11 apparent. It's actually 12 or 13, maybe 14. Very nice. We had a bit of a drama earlier on. All the software, all the stuff crashed several times. It was all a bit awkward, and we were a bit concerned that we were going to lose the autopilot and everything, which kept crashing. But it came back eventually, so that's nice. And all is well and the good ship not so bad. Very good, guys. Welcome to the 12th. And the sail goes on serenely. I think it's going to be catch of the day for dinner tonight. We've got the whole family. Good size one. For dinner. Yeah, we had my fish before in Tobago. Very tasty. This one on the small side. These are a nice little hors d'oeuvre. Well, Commodore's there. Good morning, Commodore. Yeah, losing a bit of weight. Here we are. Catch of the day. Fine fish. Sauteed flying fish with garlic, salt and pepper and a little bit of lime juice. What more could you want? Even the Commodore's going to give it a try. Playing campers. It's Saturday the 13th. We're walking to a bit more of an angry sea. The wind's gone up a bit. It's 20 to 25 knots now instead of 15 to 20 knots. I can't say the seas are much bigger, but they're a bit angrier. And the bigger waves do tend to come over the back. And with the nose down all the time, the water just flows straight forward here into the sitting area and stays there. Sandra's manufactured a dam to try and keep them away. And also it keeps the fish in. Breakfast has arrived. It's going to be measly pickings though if that's the only one. But this is the view out the back today. It was very dark and grey when I got up an hour ago or so. But the sun's come out now, so it's not quite as angry looking as it was. I've got the radar on, there are showers all around us just about. And some of these strong winds I'm sure are coming out of them. A reef in the mainsail and a reef in the Genoa. I put the reef in the mainsail last night. I've just put the reef in the Jenny. I was concerned it wouldn't actually take a reef, but it did. It's fine. It went in, so I've got one reef in the Jenny. It's great. set the day before yesterday. We've averaged 7.3 knots. Not bad going. Still got the ocean to ourselves, bar an occasional bird. And lots of flying fish. Not so bad. It's now 10 o'clock and the Commodore has been busy. What are you up to, Commodore?
Oh well, some freshly baked scones for breakfast. But it's a rocking baking though.
Okay.
Really rocky.
Looking forward to tasting those then. A bit of egg wash to give them some colour on the top when they go in the oven. It's still Saturday the 13th, and the weather continues quite blustery, should we say, such that Sam and I reduced the sail we put in the second reef in the main. Although it was well ahead of the wind requirement, it was so uncomfortable that we just felt it would be better. So we did, and lo and behold, our maximum speed over the ground quickly went up from 13.3 we had overnight last night to 15.1 via, I think it was 14.7 or something. So it just shows that you don't need all the sail to get the fastest speeds. This is the radar as well as the map. You can see there's quite a few showers around off our port quarter, and some of them coming our way, no doubt causing some of the waves and winds. Other than that, not too bad. The wind is reasonably behaving. It's in the 20s, 20, 25. Earlier it was more like 25 to 30, but that didn't last terribly long. On the other data page, speed over the ground currently 8.5, 9 knots, and today we've done 145 miles. That's until 1700 on this timing here, which is still Thai time. So we've got another 6 hours or 5.5 hours. So I think we're going to hit 170 or more if it keeps up like this, because we're whizzing along at 8 knots most of the time. And if you afternoon campers, it's still Saturday the 13th. It's just coming to 5 o'clock our time, and as you can see, 2 digits above that, we've done 189.3 nautical miles. We're just hoping it would make the 190. In fact, I'd really quite like to make 192, then it would be 8 knots, averaging 8 knots. As it is, it's going to be averaging 7.9 knots or so, which is a pretty good go. As you can see on the speedo here, we're sitting pretty much at 8-9 knots constantly. And here we go. good afternoon everybody. It's Sunday the 14th of November and we're still hammering along at a good pace. We have put another reef in the mainsail, so we've got 2 reefs in the mainsail now. I did that this morning, actually maybe I've done it last night, but if I'd done it last night what I would have done is put a reef in the Genoa. And actually, I think what we really needed was an extra reef in the mainsail. The mainsail is the one that turns us into wind because it's behind the mast, and the centre of pivot, if you like, is roughly speaking the mast. And the rudders were sort of losing control. We were getting broached a bit and losing control. And in the end I decided that the better option was to put a second reef in the mainsail and leave the Genoa as it is. Because the Genoa works the other way, it turns us away from the wind, and that's what we wanted. So this is the central position of the rudder, and it's moving about, but nowhere near as much as it was last night and this morning. Last night we hit yet another record for fastest speed. We made it up to 16.7 knots maximum speed over the ground, and our average speed over the ground, now this is since the reset, is 7.8 knots. The true wind speed is holding round about 20 knots from about 150. I just realised you might not be able to see that. 16.7 there, that was our maximum speed. This is the true wind speed. This is the distance up the top here. See, this is the distance to the waypoint, a random waypoint just out off the coast of Port Louis. So about 1130 miles or so to go, plus a bit to get into the port, so probably closer to 1150 still. We're moving along nicely, despite reducing the sail. We're still whizzing along pretty nicely at 8 or 9 knots. We're not quite on target to do 8 or 9 knots at 1 o'clock. That'll be 20 hours, so we should have done 180 miles if we in the day if we were going to maintain 9 knots. We've only got 175 and a half, and we'll do maybe another mile and a half, so it'll be 177, so we're going to be about 3 miles short of the 9 knots average speed since 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Having said that, we're still going to break 200 miles in the day. If this goes on, we made 189.3 yesterday, and I think we're going to break 200 today, which is quite remarkable. 99.9 miles a day since 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So this is our first 200 mile day any second now. Not only that, but we've still got an hour and 10 minutes to go. So that's
fully expect that we are 200 miles in one day. That is quite remarkable. Quite remarkable. And so campers, we come to the end of our day, 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. local time here. And I'll have to try and get it so you can see it. We've done 209.3, oh there it goes, 209.3 miles. 8.7 knots we've averaged for 24 hours. I think that's quite remarkable really. 8.7 knots. Well, good afternoon everybody. It's the 15th of November, Monday. We had a pretty torrid time of it in the night. It started out alright, but I went for a walk around the property around about, I don't know, 3 o'clock this morning, lobbing over the 10 or 12 flying fish that had thrown themselves at our mercy. And just as I was coming back, I thought, oh, the wind's getting up a bit. And the next thing, it was right up almost at 30 knots. Which is alright, I mean, that was fine. But the problem was the seas became so confused, it was really, really uncomfortable. Anyway, that went on until this morning. And after Sandra got up, it calmed down slowly. And the sea
Morning, Captain John. How are you this morning?
Good morning, a little weary, but we're getting there. Just down to 600 miles to go to Mauritius. Yesterday, when we were putting in the reef and the mainsail for the evening, I was having a look around and I spotted this.
Oh wow, what's that?
Well, this is what used to be a shackle, something like this.
Okay.
But it came unscrewed, and then the pressure from the mainsail, this is from the main sheet, one of the main sheets, we have two fortunately, so one of them stretched this shackle out completely.
OMG.
So I determined yesterday afternoon, that we would replace it. The only one I have is this, which is a little bit weenier than the one that's the original one, but I figured it would do as an interim measure. So yesterday I was up on the corner of the bimini, dangling on the end of the boom, trying to attach the upwind sheet using this shackle, and I failed miserably. I was unable to, with the bouncing around and everything, I was unable to attach the sheet through this and have this through the hook on the back of the end of the boom.
Okay, it was too rocky.
It was too rocky, and I was very lucky, we were very lucky, because I dropped this 3 times. The first time I dropped the bolt and it bounced on the deck and landed in the sugar scoop and stayed there, and Sandra retrieved it. The second time I dropped the bolt bit, or the hook bit, and it landed on Sandra's head and stuck on the side of her glasses, on the side of her head, on the arm of her glasses on the side of her head. And the third time it bounced on the solar panel and stayed up on the bimini. So after that we decided that we had to stop and think again.
You were very lucky, right? 3 times lucky,
yes.
John.
Yes. So somebody's looking after us. So we determined, first of all, that I needed to tie these bits together so that they couldn't fall off, and I'd have another bit so that I could hold on to this in the teeth or something like that. And also that instead of doing it with the boom out in the corner, and we don't have the ability to pull the boom in because of the loss of the sheet that normally controls that movement. But what we can do is we can jibe, and we're going to jibe, and that will put the boom near the middle of the bimini, and we'll be able to do it without, I hope, too much of an issue once we've jibed, and then we'll just jibe back and we're good to go.
Okay, let's keep our fingers crossed, and Big G will be with us, right?
Hopefully.
Thank you very much.
Hi guys,
It's day 22 and we're making progress. This was our position yesterday morning. There's the Chagos Islands there and Mauritius is down here. In the meantime, the Commodore is making pancakes or crumpets or something with a bit of music in the background. Oh yeah, she's got the groove on. Get up to about 30 knots, so not too keen on that. Yesterday we discovered the shackle at the back there. I came up the coast this morning. We devised a way to jibe and get the hook across to the middle so we can control this sheet on this side. And then I reattach the other sheet going on towards the coast to the back of the boom. Having dropped the shackle 3 times yesterday in my attempts to get it on there, we decided that we would tie the bits of shackle together and also that dangly bit of string I had in my teeth so that if we dropped it, if I dropped it, which I did once, it wouldn't disappear overboard. The only problem was the boom was bouncing up and down a bit and I had to be careful I didn't bother an extraction in the middle of refitting the other sheet. But the other thing is that the shackle isn't really bad enough for the job. It's a size or so too small strength-wise, and I am concerned that it's not going to last. But it's a makeshift do. We've only got 500 miles to go to Mauritius, so hopefully it won't last that long. It's Friday, the something or other, 19th or 20th or something, and today should be our last full day at sea. We've been treated to a bit of a blustery old day. The wind has been hovering between 20 and 25 knots most of the night, the odd gust up to 30, 32. It's a slightly upward direction in that it's too much astern for us to go really fast. But anyway, I'm cheating a little bit by not heading directly towards the waypoint to make it a bit more abeam so that we can go at a reasonable speed. As you can see probably down here, we're inside the last 250 miles now to the waypoint that I've randomly selected off the coast of Port Louis. The sun has just come up, although it's 8:22 our time. That's Thai time still. The blusteriness has been these showers that are about, these squally showers. You can see one here. And as they come through, the wind comes whistling up, and it also generates some pretty ugly seas. It's been pretty ugly all night, really. They're not huge seas by any stretch of the imagination, but it's uncomfortable. We've been on a diagonal to them most of the last 2 weeks, and that causes a lot of rolling motion, and that's quite uncomfortable and difficult to deal with. You're carrying cups of tea or gin and tonics or whatever it is, but nonetheless it's better than pounding into the waves, which we were previously. So here we are, hopefully, as I say, our last full day at sea. I'm slightly concerned that we're going to get there rather late in the afternoon. I want to get there while it's still light, but I think we will. We've just got the issue of getting the sails away. I'm not sure we can get the Genoa away any further than we've got it, but I'm going to try and unwind it and then try and roll it up manually if necessary. But if the wind stays at 20 knots, that's going to be tricky. I may just leave it as it is. The mainsail should come down without problems. The problem is that it's hanging out over the side because the lazy boys on that side, the starboard side, are broken. You can see the strings hanging down. So the bag doesn't sort of hold itself upright. And I'm going to have to work out a way to get the sail into the bag and then get it zipped up, or not zipped, that's what is it, get it buttoned up so that it stays inside and not hang over the side looking rather unseemingly, seeming-like.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, Captain. What's going on?
Well, we're making our way towards Mauritius, and we've got less than 45 miles to go to the waypoint. And I'm hand steering in an attempt to save the autopilot from an early death, because it's really suffering now, and this kind of quartering sea really kills it. So I'm hand steering, which is we're all over the place. We've just seen about 1 million flying fish get airborne at the same time. It's amazing.
Well, we're going to try and see if we can catch another view of that. That was phenomenal. First time we saw more than 20 flying at the same time. So let's see if we can catch another spectacular view of our flying fish again. Information, they were definitely information. As you can see, our lazy boys are really lazy. They're coming down, they all over the place. Guys, yeah, in the interim, we'll see what we can capture for you on this beautiful morning, the 20th of November, day number 24. And God's willing, we will reach there in a couple of hours.
More than that.
A couple of hours, we've got 44
Miles to go.
44 nautical miles to go.
Happening.
I'm spotting love!
Yeah, I don't know if I can convince you about this, but where are we? It's about
I'm spotting.
a hill.
Spotting.
Just to the right of the pulpit chair there.
Yes!